Think outside the box. We hear this almost on the daily at times. But seriously? What is this box you're supposed to think outside of? Is it a bread box? A refrigerator box? A shoe box? And what does it really mean? Is it supposed to be inspiring? The truth is, there is no box. There are only boundaries set up in your own head. There are no restrictions, not even with the most conservative client. Because the truth is, too, being creative means not only pushing your own boundaries and expectations, but those of the clients as well. And this is otherwise known as Creative Anarchy. So let's take that box. Let's blow it up. Or let's drop it in a volcano. Ooh, but better yet, let's feed it to a shark. And forget about the box. And forget those boundaries. So why is it so important to embrace this philosophy? Why do you have to become a creative anarchist? A lot of good reasons. Good enough is just not good enough. Complacency is the devil. And the obvious is, well, kind of expected. It doesn't matter if you work freelance or at a design firm or even in-house. Boundaries are meant to be pushed. You need to do it for you, and you need to do it for your client. Before I tell you how, we interrupt our regularly scheduled program with a few words. There comes a time in your career when you're going to question whether you learned enough or tried hard enough, and if you're giving your clients everything you can. You research, you brainstorm, and you sketch. You refine your ideas, you generate well-kerned typography, and arrange optimal hierarchical communication on your page. The design looks great. It fills each of your clients' needs, but somewhere deep in your gut, it's not enough. You know it's not enough. You want more creative exploration. You want to break free. You want to create something bigger and better and awesomer. These feelings are totally natural. You are a creative mind, after all. Unfortunately, it's not always appropriate to express them to the client. Before your inner creative anarchist gets the better of you, consider how much creativity your client can handle. Is he literal and straightforward, with very little tolerance for creative freedom? Or is she open-minded, with a high creative tolerance? Rate your client on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being highly tolerant of creativity and 1 not being so tolerant at all. If you say 2 or above, you have an opportunity to break a rule or two and create something that pushes the clients and your design boundaries. Creating anarchy, though, is not for the meek designer or the timid client. It takes guts to go against the industry norm. Fear breeds an attitude of everyone else is doing it, so I should probably do it too. But ask yourself, is there a valid reason why everyone else is doing it? Or is everyone else doing it because everyone else is doing it? The creative anarchist always questions why. And lastly, before inciting anarchy, you have to ask why. Why do you need 13 fonts on a page? Why is a horizontally scrolling website the thing to do? Why is a purple flying unicorn appropriate for this client? If the answer is because it looks cool, then stop right now. You are clearly not ready for creative anarchy. However, if you believe that anarchy will enhance the design, if you have sound reasoning behind your design, and if you have a client who is conducive to anarchy-laden design options, then you are ready. And now back to your program. Let's talk about those clients and their readiness to accept some anarchy in their lives. There are going to be times where you have to start slow, and that means sometimes using Avenir instead of Times New Roman, or perhaps Navy goes out the window for cyan, and then other times putting the dog away for use of a cat. But sometimes it means extreme negative space or an experimental grid or a concrete business card, or a musical business card. Perhaps it's a wedding invitation that doubles as a record player that plays a song recorded by the couple themselves. It can even be an invitation that you can actually light on fire. Or a super cool origami poster with interactive folds. Or thermosensitive ink. And wine bottles that you can play with. It also means illustrations that are made out of hay. And maybe shaving the dog to actually make your type. It can mean destructive, I only have one shot at this poster typography. Or a complete lack of graphic standards. It also means obliterating, and I mean obliterating, a 45-year-old collection of yearbooks to create the ultimate one-of-a-kind annual covers. Or literally gluing a landscape to somebody's back. It means creating an invitation with giant wood type on a paper towel roll that had to be shipped with gloves because it stayed wet for weeks. It's greeting cards that turn into shot glasses to bring even more life to the party. Or scratch-off covers that reveal the image below. Or the use of a red Solo cup to reach out to college students to talk to them about the dangers of binge drinking. It can also mean this. Amazing, right? But how do you get there with your clients? Because that client is 1 in a million shot, right? Wrong. Granted, not every client is the ideal candidate for anarchy, and you definitely still need to gain a grasp of the client's creative tolerance, but once you do, you can present a varying degrees of creativity during the initial design phase. Your goal is to present the highest tolerance design you can without offending your client or completely abandoning the communication and conceptual needs. Consider not only the aesthetic layout elements like color and type, but the concept and materials and physical format too. Here are 4 things that you can present to the client. The safe options. These options make the client feel comfortable. They're conceptually solid and serve the client well if selected. The moderate safe ones. These options push the concept a little further, but stick to the client's tastes. Stretch the client's design boundaries through color, typography, grid, and layout. The client might be a little uncomfortable, but they should still be open to these ideas. Then we have the moderate experimental. These are options that propel your concepts outside of the client's comfort zones. Definitely explore different image making marks, materials, experimental typography, and non-traditional grids. Destroy the box and show your client the potential of riskier design. Definitely keep communication goals in mind, though. You might have to educate your client about the reasoning and address any fears that they might have before venturing into something a little too different. It might be a struggle for some clients, but if you provide justification for your choices to help the client see the design's validity, you absolutely have a shot. And then the anarchist. These options go for it all and demolish all the boundaries. Of course, the idea still needs to be justified to the client. It is their money after all. But if you can sell the idea, have at it. So let's see how much of a creative anarchist is in you. Remember, you have to destroy the box, demolish the box, annihilate the box. There are no box walls. There are no boundaries. Obliterate your fears. Face your ideas head on. Be a thinker and a doer, not a follow the leaderer. Because you can create design anarchy. And if you do, you can change yourself and you can change the world.